What's up, guys? Sorry, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties with my streaming going on to YouTube Live. It says for some reason it's not working. Whatever. I guess it happens. So, best way I can make it is, just do this live. No cuts, no edits, nothing like that. So it'll provide the same as a live, do the same things. But I want to start off by talking about SPY. And two levels that I'm really watching tomorrow are 449.5 and on the top side 451.65. I want to see how it responds to those levels tomorrow. And that'll really determine, what this market takes on. We are still in a pretty decent sized downtrend, so I will keep that in mind. But over that 451.5, 451.65 level, this could move pretty decent to the upside. Pretty ugly 15-minute candle here on SPY, so I don't like that. In terms of a watch list, let's go first break down some flow. I'm just going to remove all drawings on these real quick. Cool. All right, let's go break down some flow. So the first stock on my radar is AMD. I like this as a chip stock. Chips have been, pretty strong. Did have that gap here on AMD, but this flow is pretty nice, something to watch. Hey, Otto, dog, stop chewing that bone real quick. If you hear a little something in the background, it's dog chewing his bone. I apologize in advance. But anyways, looking at this flow here, we're getting some nice hits up to that 130 call. It looks like, there's some interest here in these 131, 133s. But we're getting nice puts all the way down to this 120 put, leads the way behind that 125. So I like that a lot. The 120 is a big level to hold. Just looking at this chart here on AMD, I like this play a lot, especially if the market rips. It'll definitely be a name I'm keeping my eye on, with chips being a pretty strong name the past couple of days with very good earnings. So I like AMD a lot. I like it over NVIDIA. I just like the spreads, the way it moves a little bit better. Looking at MU, there is an inverse head and shoulders forming, it looks like, on the 1 hour chart, but I don't like the upside potential as much on MU, so I like AMD here. Flow supports that, so I like that a lot. The next one is Snap. Had pretty good earnings the other day, absolutely rocketed. Today it gapped down, and to me that that signals a bit of weakness in an overall pretty strong ticker the past couple of days. So there's a decision that needs to be made, right? And what really sticks out is this flow here on Snap. So looking at the 211s, that 35 put is getting smacked around, right? Leading the way. But the highest up, 218, 32 puts, pretty bearish overall flow in terms of tickers being hit on this hot chains and tickers, which makes sense as it did gap down, right? But we also have 38 to 40 calls getting hit. This 211.40 is nice. 38.37 is also getting hit, as well as this 218.40 call. I like this a lot. Good play for a smaller account, as well as the premiums, pretty cheap here on the premiums, under $1. So I like that. Spreads aren't terrible. Good volume, so I like Snap a lot, and a make or break to push to the upside, or it can try and fill that gap to the downside. Next one is BAC. Banks have been strong, so I like the name. But again, it's testing levels that are very high up. So we'll see if it can break through. If it can break through that 50 level for sure, we got a strong push. Looking at the flow, people are smacking around that 50 call for 211. I like to see that. Also have this 211.49 put. And then, people taking a little further out. Looking at 218.50s next week. You can play those as well. Put side, in a decision, nothing too crazy out of the money, but I really like that call in the 50s, and this thing can explode if we really push through that 50 level. Some nice volume. Banks have been pretty strong, so I like this a lot. Also looks like a possible inverse head and shoulders here forming or formed and testing that 50 level. Next is SQ. So I'm a fan of the downside on SQ, but it has been defending that 101.15 to 100 level very well. So that's something, I'm keeping in mind. A lot of support, but if we follow through that support, this does have that volume gap I've talked about multiple times down to 87. So I like that play a lot. In terms of flow, we're getting some nice hits here on this 105. 218, 135, maybe a bit crazy, but SQ, it can move pretty well. Also getting some 100 puts, like to see that. And we're also getting, these 95 puts like that. So, make or break. If we fall through that support here, it's game over for SQ. I like that downside a lot on SQ, but it's been very strong. So if we bounce off that support right, we got a nice move to the upside. I like this in both directions. Last one is NEO. NEO, been my favorite ticker today. We finally decided to make a little bit of a break out of that consolidation phase. I like that. If we can continue that momentum tomorrow, this thing can really, really get going. Looking at flow, 211s, 25 getting hit nice, 218s, 21s, and 22 puts getting hit. So a potential big move either way. I really like the upside on NEO. It is in a little bit of a volume consolidation node here. I'll show that in a minute, but I like, the potential for upside, especially bouncing off that level. A lot of consolidation, so this could be a very, very explosive move here on NEO. All right, let's start with NEO. So in terms of a call and a put trigger, very tight consolidation as we talked about, and levels that stick out. 24.8 is going to be a big level, but I'm gonna wait till over that. I'm gonna use this high here at 25.05 for a call trigger. I like that. And then on the downside, a big level that we need to hold and has been a pretty good size level, a resistance here, support here, resistance again, is this 24.25 level. As we see, the POC is down here at 24, so the downside's a little bit harder to break through, so I do like it to the upside right now. But underneath that level, I expect it to test down, 24.10's a big level. Throw that in here, throw this in yellow real quick. And then underneath that, there's range, but there's a lot of volume. A big level that's been held, it's been my put trigger twice, is 23.55. Today we reflected right off that level. Nice little push into, here and there movement throughout the day, kind of choppy. So that's all right. But on the upside, this is the one that, really, really excites me. High here, 25.20, 25.22. I like that. So 25.20 is going to be that first level I'm watching. 15-cent move, okay. I like that. Over 25.05, I'm confident in a move to 25.20. And then over that, we have this high up here at 25.97, and then over that we do have a gap to fill up to 27.22. So that's a decent move, and with the consolidation, I think we can hit that tomorrow if it really gets moving. Got a good market. I love it to the upside tomorrow. Definitely my top watch in terms of a bullish thesis. Let's go to SQ. So SQ, I talked about a little bit. So 111.5 is a big level. But let's break this down a little. Zoom in for me. Come on now. All right, let's go for a call trigger. A lot of levels to watch for sure, but the level that really sticks out to me is right here at 104.25. It's also the top of this little volume node. Oops. Throw that in blue. 104.25. I like that a lot. It's definitely been a level tested multiple times. Was a support, turned resistance, support and resistance in here. I like that a lot. Over 104.25. I'm going to use this hourly, look at some levels a little bit more clear. So yeah, 104.25, massive level here on SQ. Over that, nothing too crazy really sticks out. This level here is definitely big. 104.83, what's this? 104.87. Throw this in here at 104.85. I like that. That's a decent move. We can get some good gains out of that. But over that level, looks like 105 to 106 is going to be our next big area we need to take out. Throw this in here at 106.05. I like that to the upside. But, in terms of the downside, this is something that's beautiful to me. Scroll out here, show you guys why I like it so much to the downside. This right here, this volume gap. Let's look at this daily candle. It is a little bit of a hammer candle down towards some zones, so we're starting to fall. Not too much daily range today, but I like that. Let's look at this for a nice little chart. What's the low? Lows 100, so it's defending that 100 level. Low here 102, low here 101.83. So I'm gonna use the psych level at 100 as my put trigger if I can find it. As my put trigger. I like that a lot. Whoops, I don't know. Whoa, I don't know what's going on. All right, let's go back to the daily, look at some levels. So, this sucker can really fall under 100. But some levels to watch. I'm not too crazy. 87 is definitely a big level here on this daily. I'll throw that in there. I don't know how much exactly this could fall in one day, but there's not much holding it up on this volume profile. Some levels in here. 100's big. 95, 87. So 96, I like that. Throw that in there. I like this a lot to the downside, as I stated. Can be a big mover to the downside. I like that a lot. But the upside potential is there as well. So that's one that I'm really going to be watching tomorrow. Let's look at BAC. On the daily, this candle here formed on BAC is a little bit of a, an extended hanging man. So that's one thing to keep in mind, as we did test that 50 level, denied pretty hard. But let's go look at some calls and put triggers. We do have a downside gap to fill, so I like that a lot. The level I like on the downside is 49.08, multiple bottoms here and here before bouncing. So that in blue, I like that. And then on the upside, I'm going to use these levels in here, top, test it again, 49.71. I like that a lot for a call trigger. Over that, I'm gonna be looking towards 50. 49.75, a little bit of resistance there, but not too much. If we go look at this, on the hourly, we don't have much over that level, so I'm gonna throw this at 50 as my first target. 50.02 is today's high. I'm gonna throw that in there. I like that. Looks like, inverse head and shoulders here, shoulder, shoulder, and the head. Nice little extension. I like that. But underneath that 49.08 level, 48, what's this? What's the low here? 48.97, 48.95 is going to be a level to watch. I like that. And then under that, we do have this gap to fill down to 48.6. Throw that in there. So I like BAC a lot, to either side really, but it looks like based off that daily candle formation, bears stepped in heavy at that 50 level. So this is one I'm going to watch very, very closely. Snap. All right, so looking at Snap, we had that electric move off of earnings, and then a gap down today. So this is one that I like a lot. Premiums are getting a bit cheaper, so I like that as well. Let's go to this 15, break down some levels here. Looking at Snap, some big levels. This is a massive level, right? 38.22, big level. But I'm going to use the high right before we fell off here at 38.4 as my call trigger. And I like that level. Definitely one that's been tested multiple times here on this breakout. And before we gap down, that was the level tested. So I like that 38.4 level. Over that, the level I'm going to be watching is, let's see, 38.6. Okay, 20-cent move. We can do with that. Throw that in there. And then over 38.6, that POC up there near 39 is going to be a big one. Let's look at the hourly. All right. Ooh. Scroll over a little. So this level here is going to be big. 39.5, massive level, right? I like that a lot. 39.5. We do have that POC at 39, so I will watch that 39 level as well. But 39.5 I think is doable if we continue to push up. Now, in terms of the downside, go to this 15, grab myself this. Level I like a lot is right in here, the low right there, low 36.5. I like that a lot. And I'll scroll over to show you guys a little bit more of what I'm seeing. So over here, it acted as a very big resistance before breaking through, retesting, and then pushing, right? Today, acted as a little bit of resistance off that first candle, retested it, finally got over it, and then we pushed throughout the day. So I like underneath 36.5. Level I'm going to be watching the most is all the way down here at 35.15. See the low on this, 35.15. Yep, I like that. Going to be watching that heavy. Underneath that, very big gap to fill. But in terms of another level that's going to be big is this 35.8 level looks decent, as well as 36.02. All right, so let's see. 36 is going to be a big level as well, big psych level, tested multiple times. So I like that a lot. That 35.15 is definitely doable. Weak market tomorrow, gap to fill to the downside. Sellers can come in heavy on a very beaten down name, even though they had a pretty good earnings. So I like Snapchat a lot. Premiums aren't bad, so definitely a small account play. Now looking at AMD, there is nothing holding this thing back after we get over this 130 level. So 130 is going to be my call trigger. On the downside, things get a little bit more dicey. Lots of levels to look at, lots of things to consider. But this level here at I'm going to use this here. What's the low on this? 126.5 as my put trigger. 130 is the call trigger. I like that. In terms of levels I'll watch, 126 is going to be a big level. Use this hourly kind of look at some levels to definitely watch. So 126 is going to be big, and then 125, massive level. Not only a psych level, but it has been used as both support and resistance multiple times. So underneath that level, at 126.5, I like this for a push down towards 125. On the upside, we're going to have to look over here, look left, right? So there's a nice volume gap actually on this up to about 131.5. What's the low here? 131.78. So I'm going to throw this in here at 131.5. We'll throw it at 131.39, 131.4 as my first target, and then over that, the real nice volume gap is all the way up here at 133.45. So that's the level on the upside I'm really going to target, really look at. That 135 call is definitely in play tomorrow, but I'll probably take that 131 or 132 call over 130, depending. I haven't looked too much into the spreads or the volume on that yet. On the other downside, we have a lot of consolidation over here in 121.5, but this level here is big at 123.8, so that's another doable level. On the downside, I like this a lot. I like all 5 of these plays. Neo, definitely my top bullish watch, I think, tomorrow. And then the downside, I love SQ's downside. I've been talking about it a lot, probably pretty annoying at this point. But I also like Snap's downside. BAC has a gap to fill down. So all 3 of those plays, if we have a pretty bad market, I like all of them to the downside. I think they have a lot more range than AMD and Neo do. So that's what I'm really going to be watching tomorrow when it comes to my watch list.